here today in New Orleans, Louisiana. This is one of the best eating towns anywhere in the world. There are a couple of my favorite restaurants in this town, and I'm gonna take you to them today. Before we jump in and talk about my favorite restaurants, let's talk just for a minute about New Orleans. This is an interesting and quirky town. It has such a unique history. The culture here clearly is influenced by the French, but it stands on its own. There's no other place like New Orleans, whether by day or by night. Here I am walking down Bourbon Street on a weekday evening, and it is a calm night. If you were to come almost any other time, especially a weekend, you would find crowds a lot bigger than this. You should know New Orleans is a little bit like Vegas in that it is an adult town, not a place for kids. The alcohol flows here. There are a lot of adult establishments. So if you're not into that scene, you're probably not going to appreciate this place nearly as much after dark. Despite this town having a seedy side to it and not being a great place for families, it is extremely popular with event planners. This is a top 10 location in the country if you're going to host an event or a conference or a trade show. And a big reason for that, despite what you see in this video, is the weather. The weather here is fantastic during the fall, winter, and spring months. Unless you come in the middle of the hot summer, it's a great place to host an event. You might have a big rainstorm or thunderstorm like I experienced here, but the next morning, that's all gone and you have a beautiful place to walk around. The town itself is also very condensed, particularly around the French Quarter. The French Quarter is the historic part of New Orleans. It's also very near the downtown district where there are the big hotels. So if you look at this from the perspective of an event planner, the ideal thing you can have if you're going to bring hundreds or thousands of people into a city is to have a lot to do all within walking distance. And that's what New Orleans offers. You have the French Quarter where in about a 5 square block area, you have dozens of art galleries. You have all sorts of different restaurants. It's no wonder that New Orleans is a top 10 location for a conference or trade show, despite the city itself not being that big population-wise. It's only a top 50 city in America. There are so many places larger. But you come here for a conference, you can go to your business meetings, your spouse can go walk through the art galleries, go shopping at all sorts of eccentric little shops. Looking for a snack? Just head over to Café du Monde, located right next to Jackson Square. This famous place has been around for years, and you can come here 24 hours a day, pick up a hot beignet loaded with powdered sugar. Just make sure to bring cash, no credit cards accepted. Another reason to love New Orleans is the live music scene. You never know when you're going to run into a jazz band on the street. If jazz isn't your thing, you'll find live rock music being played at any number of bars in the French Quarter after dark. And some of these cover bands are really good. Another thing you must check out while you're in New Orleans are the cemeteries. Some of the cemeteries are located right near the French Quarter. You can get a tour. You can even get a haunted tour. Now, the tombs and mausoleums are all above ground, and some of them are quite creepy. If you're going to visit one of the cemeteries located right near the French Quarter, like the St. Louis Cemetery No. 1, you may have to sign up for a tour beforehand. Otherwise, you're likely to get charged something like $25 to get in. When you stay in a city for a few days at a time, you really get to know the restaurant scene. And I've been to this town and stayed here for conferences time and time again, and I've really gone to a lot of different restaurants. And I'll tell you, this is a fantastic restaurant city. I'm going to talk about two of my favorite restaurants today. The first is this place called Antoine's. Antoine's is one of the oldest restaurants in the country. In fact, it's the oldest family-run restaurant. Started, I think, in 1840, so it's been around before the Civil War. This place is renowned for its service, and you get that right away when you walk in. The staff here is dressed up to the nines in tuxedos and formal wear, and they are going to treat you like you've been coming here every day of your life. The service here is just splendid. Food here is pretty good as well. They have a famous clam dish. They're known for their warm bread. Here I'm ordering a 3-course lunch featuring a hamburger that you dip into a special sauce that was a little bit like a Heinz 57 sauce. Interesting French Creole type of cuisine here, but fantastic. Tasted delicious. When I was here, they gave me a quick tour of the wine cellar, which was amazing. It looked like a warehouse, a big, huge corridor featuring thousands of bottles of wine. If you come here between lunch and dinner, you may want to look around a little bit. If the crowds are low, they're going to be really friendly, give you a tour of the place. There are some fantastic rooms to discover here. The decor of this place is really something else, and if you get a chance to explore, you must do so. What really sets this place apart is the service, the history, and the decor. So if you have a chance to go to Antoine's, I recommend it. Now, the second restaurant we're going to talk about today is fine dining perfection. If Antoine's wins because of its excellent service and decor, this place, located right in Jackson Square, is called Muriel's, and it wins for its amazing, delicious food, which is unrivaled virtually anywhere I've been. The atmosphere at this restaurant is terrific. You're in Jackson Square in a historic building, and so you start off on the right foot. More of an intimate experience than you're going to find at Antoine's. Not quite as big of dining rooms. You're not alone, and there still is noise, but it is a little bit more of a romantic setting, if you will. The menu here is not huge, but there are some great selections, and really the value is in the 3-course meals that they always offer. I've been here a number of times, and it's always on the menu, a 3-course selection for just under $50. And you get an appetizer, a main entree, as well as a dessert to follow. I like to think that presentation doesn't matter, and the taste is really what's important. But when presentation is done so well, it is something I notice. And that's the case here. These appetizers come out, they look beautiful, and they taste beyond what you can describe. This is the main course, which is a filet mignon done perfectly. It's topped with mushrooms and a rich, savory sauce. And on the side, you have some asparagus and some mashed potatoes. Here's the thing, I've had many steaks in my day, and I would put this steak right up against Morton's or Ruth's Chris or any fine dining establishment. The medium rare texture on this can only be described as velvety. If steak's not your thing, they've got a few other options, including salmon, or they're well known for their pork chop. And what Muriel's really does so well is the sauce. Whatever you order, they just figure out that perfect flavor to accompany the meal. Just how good is the dessert? Let's put it this way. I got one quick video of this bread pudding with candied pecans, and then once I tasted the divine flavor of this, I just simply was so distracted I couldn't get any more videos. I totally forgot. This bread pudding is to die for. And that's just the case with Muriel's, my favorite restaurant anywhere. You must come here if you're in New Orleans.